I'm going to talk about Namo today because he's a mangaka whose 3 original works I quite enjoy. And those are Madoromi-chan Gaiku, or Go Go Madoromi-chan, Ookami Shounen wa kyou mo uso o kasaneru, or The Boy Who Cried Wolf Tells a Lie Today also, that was long, and Cuprum no hanayome, or Cuprum's Bride, or Wife. First of all, I called him a she in a past video, but Japanese Wikipedia was kind enough to immediately prove me wrong with the sentence, "He is a man." The most popular of his manga is Ookami Shonen, which is what I'm shortening that shit to. And that was also my introduction to his work and what I think is his best work as well. But let's go chronologically through the 3 originals, and then we can look at the rest of his stuff, at least based off what I could find online. Madoromi-chan Gaiku, or Go Go Madoromi-chan. It's just a slice of life about a little girl who has horns that are never explained, living with this guy who is, I guess we'll say, her caretaker. Also never explained, but we know it's not her dad. Fine by me since there's no weird shit. And his name's Taichi. It's basically just she's a kusogaki, or a brat, but she's never really malicious in any sense, just childish. She's just a little kid doing some cute stuff and some funny little kid stuff. And her horns make her even cuter, but they can also make things funny when they cause problems or are just being used for various things. You know, she likes to pee the bed, sleep all day, and eat a lot of food, and that's pretty relatable. It's just a cute little slice of life about her and what we'll say is her quote-unquote dad, Taichi, and him trying to take care of her, even though she's a bit of a handful. I don't know, it just kind of brightens the mood. It's very wholesome and diabetes. That's about it. It's not much of an overarching story, just about Madoromi being an interesting child to take care of. It will heal your soul, or what is that word? If you know Laplace from Hololive, I'd say the resemblance of kusogakiness goes further than just the presence of their 2 horns. But yeah, Madoromi-chan, very cute. Ookami Shounen wa kyou mo uso o kasaneru, or The Boy Who Cried Wolf Tells a Lie Today also. Very long. Starts out with your classic boy, Ketaro, who's in love with a girl, Aoi, and this girl is an ice queen, or a thorn princess, or whatever you want to call it, which essentially means a lot of people confess to her, she turns them down hard. Her reason is relatively unique. In a lot of other stories, ice queens are spiteful, or maybe they just turn down dudes because they don't like them and eventually they got tired of so many confessions. In this story, Aoi is scared of men, so she can't look them in the eye or doesn't even see their faces. She's scared of men, so obviously she's not going to accept any confessions and maybe has a bit of an unpleasant reaction to being confessed to from someone who she can't see, really. So obviously our boy gets his ass turned down and he's a bit confused, so he makes things even worse for himself. Then he goes and sees his brother, who's a cross-dresser, and falls asleep, and he wakes up dressed and in makeup as a girl. And he has the sanpaku eyes, so the classic, oh, everyone's scared of me because of how I look, which was part of what made his rejection feel worse for him. So having on this attire and makeup, somehow he doesn't have the sanpaku eyes anymore. And it helps him experience being a normal person. He just goes and walks around and nobody's scared of him anymore, and it feels good. He just so happens to run into Aoi while on his walk home, and he protects her from some rapscallions. She decides that since she wants to get over her fear, finally, of men, and since he's a dude just dressed as a girl, so he's got manly features, they're going to be friends and he can help her get over her fear of men. That's how things start. There's also Aoi's best/childhood friend, who's just there to protect her, Botan. Botan wants to make sure this new girl is a good friend for Aoi to be having. He's keeping his identity a secret, obviously, since he's dressed as a girl. We see how that plays out, because it's not going to last forever, obviously. The lack of fan service is very nice. I don't really remember seeing anything at all. And overall, it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's amazing. Things could have gone on for much longer if Namo wanted to stretch it out or get some money or whatever, but he didn't. It's only 34 chapters. There definitely could have been more cross-dressing shenanigans and misunderstandings happening forever. So I really thought the ending was perfect. It it cut off right when it should have. Cuprum no Hanayome, or the Cuprum's Bride, is Namo's currently serializing series, and it started in 2020, but I've only been able to find 15 English chapters anywhere online. It's essentially just a slice-of-life romance between our two main characters, the Cuprum Shu, or coppersmith, and his fiancée, or bride, Sheena. Basically, it's just about their daily lives. The titular character, the Cuprum's bride, is a lolly gal, but she's only a college freshman, and he's an artisan working in the copper industry. So we get to learn some cool information about copper working, and also some other Japanese artisan industries, and it's almost an actual adult relationship. Again, it's just very wholesome. I would say it's healing, but in a more adult way than you get from Madoromi-chan, because it's an actual relationship. It's very cute, but there's no expectation of anything elaborate going on in the story, at least so far. It's not far in, but based off his other works, it's likely not going to be too long of a story. The main stakes in this are probably just the coppersmith being recognized as a proper artisan by his grandfather, and the gal being recognized as a proper wife. She does cute moe cap stuff. I guess you could say, since it's the difference between a gal and typical housewife stuff, like cooking and cleaning and stuff at home. But that isn't really the main focus. I guess there's also the idea of loving someone who loves their craft or what they do a lot, and how that can possibly affect your relationship. This is explored and is really the only cause of tension in their relationship, because he can be so hyper-focused on his copper work. Everything's nice, the art is nice, It's nothing crazy, but it's ongoing and it's cute. The first published work I can find credited to Namo is a Baka and Test spin-off manga, Baka and Test Spin-Out, where the main characters are in middle school. Seems like maybe he just did the art for this. Can't find it in English anywhere, not too hard to find in Japanese though, but I don't speak that. If you like Baka and Test and can handle Japanese, I'm sure it's cute to read. Next, he did the art for Idol Master Cinderella Girls New Generations. Again, just the art. It appears he wasn't in charge of any story stuff. After this, he started on the serialization of Madoromi-chan, and around the same time he started working with the adult toys and products company or site G Project. And he does a lot of, or did, I can't find anything super recent, but he did a lot of drawings, short, mostly dialogue comics, ads for a marketing campaign, it looks like. All I know is that this guy is the recipient of the Nobel Prize in Masturbation. And I wish I could read Japanese so I could read all 69 of this series' comics and a few others published other places on the site, rather than having to screenshot each page and run it through a photo translator, which ain't nearly perfect. There's a lot of content there, but I cannot deal with it. After this, he took part in a Nozaki-kun anthology, which I could actually find in English, right before the publication of Ookami Shonen started. During the publication of Ookami Shonen, he started doing the art for 2 light novel series, one of which being Oshire no Naka no Dungeon Craft, or Dungeon Craft in the Closet, which I could only find 1 volume cover, pictured here, nice art. And the other one, which is from Kyoto Animations, which is Manzai Senkai. Manzai's that Japanese comedy duo thing. That's all I know about that one as well. After that, there was another anthology, Boarding School Juliet. Haven't been able to find his chapter yet, but it's in the process of being translated to English still. And then there was a one-shot, Thoughts on Murphy's Law, that I can't find in English. Same with Ochikobre Fruit Tart Anthology, he did a chapter. And then before he started his currently running Cuprum no Hanayome, he put out a couple of one-shots. Aoyoru, or I believe that means Blue Night, which is like softcore hentai pretty much. I mean, it says ecchi. It's really diverging from all his previous published works, and even a bit of the art. The proportions of the character seem a little different to me from what he'd been drawing. And he basically says he was doing it just to challenge himself. It's nothing special. Seems kind of like he did some spicy drawing practice for fun. The other one-shot he did at this time was Universe in a Cup, which also I can't find. I mean, there exists information about his birthday, where he was born or is from, and his blood type. Kind of creepy, especially when we don't know what he looks like. But I mean, I don't really care. It's on the screen if anyone cares. I think that about covers everything. I'll link the Pixiv and Twitter that he has, because I use literally a fuck ton of only his art for this video, so I'll feel bad if I don't. Botan best girl.